This challenge will test you. There will be no sources, there will be no preparation. Tonight, we'll be going to the beautiful restaurant Stelios, and you'll be experiencing a traditional Spetsen dance.
With all the women, I felt super free. It was really touching.
It just reminded me how much I love to do what I do.
We want you to be inspired by the Greek music that you heard last night, the movement of the dances that you experienced last night, and a non-objective abstract painting.
Abstracts to me, like, they just kind of confuse me a little bit.
This is much better.
I don't know. It still needs a focal point, and that's something I'm noticing with a lot of people.
It's freaking hot here.
Are you coming over here because they believe I'm struggling?
But Sabrina, your time has come to an end. Come on in, artists. Good morning. Morning. You guys made it to another challenge, another day, and today's gonna be a very fun day. I hope you guys brought a lot of sunscreen, Dramamine. Today is going to be an adventure, and on this adventure, as always, lies hidden messages for your challenge. So pay attention today, have a lot of fun.
I think that you're always scared of like losing. Like, look at Sabrina, like she's made so many amazing paintings. She's always been at the top. And now she just made one painting that was not as good as the other ones. So then that means that you're just out. And I think that really scares me, yeah.
Through this door, your adventure awaits you.
Here's the crazy thing about the abstract that I got out on. Every time I walk by it, I like it more. As far as what I did in my abstract, I wouldn't do anything differently, like up to the point where the challenge ended. Just give us some more time to evolve.
Hello, guys!
Good morning!
Welcome! I'll be waiting for you. We are going to have a wonderful day trip in the sea today. And a great adventure. So come on board, everyone.
Oh, here.
Oh man, I think I need to practice every single day to make a finished painting in 3 or 4 hours. Like, that is my biggest challenge, definitely. I am a slow painter, you know, so I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I need to learn to make a new process for this contest. Yeah.
We're stopping here for a while, just for a while, because we're not allowed to go any further and we're not allowed to be in these waters, actually. This is Spetsopoula. We are in Spetses, and this is Little Spetses. It's a wonderful place. What you look at, this full green area, is how Spetses used to be. But we had 3 major fires, forest fires, and we lost some of the green areas. Of course, they are coming back now, but we were exactly like that. Spetsopoula means a lot to many people. We are not allowed to be that close, but we came only to show you the little Spetses and have an image of how Spetses looked like 40 years ago, where everything was like that.
It's not just my story. I think it's every artist's story. When we are starting self-doubting and don't have the belief that we are able to create good art, we are just self-sabotaged. And I think this is something really unfair, not only for us, but for art, you know?
We are at Anargiri Beach now. And here is the first stop with a great adventure waiting ahead for you. We are going to enter the Bekiris cave. It has a lot of mystery and a lot of myths.
I stepped on something sharp. Oh. Then my foot ate it.
The first one comes from the Revolution era. They say that they used to hide our soldiers with the boats who were fighting against the Ottomans. When you see the cave, you will understand because it has a narrow opening at the sea, and you could go inside with a small boat and nobody could see or listen.
This is so beautiful.
The second myth I love most is the fairy myth. The legend has it that they used to live fairies in this cave. And this is why when a couple decides to swim in the waters of the cave, your firstborn baby will be a son. And there is another religious element in the cave for us being Orthodox Christians. Just of the stalagmites, we have a very special icon created from the water that goes down from the mountain on the left part of the cave. And if you look at it, you will see the curving of Mother of Jesus holding Jesus as a child, which is something that most of us say it's a kind of miracle. There is a lot of mystery in the cave. And as soon as you enter the cave, you will feel this magic. And let your heart lead you to the fantasy of the place and the history of it.
All right, contestants, we've arrived at the cave, and this cave serves an incredibly important role in this next challenge for you. So your next challenge will be to create a sketch from your memory of entering the cave. And what we want you to do after you come out of this cave, after you have dug deep within yourself, is to create a sketch. And that is why we had you bring in your sketch materials. And so later today, when we get back to the resort, we will have you paint for 2 hours from the sketch with no source, with no time to plan out imagery. You will only be able to use the sketch that you've created today. And after the 2 hours tonight, you'll be able to have some time to sleep on it and to think about your painting. And the next day, push yourself creatively and finish your paintings. There is a very special story here in Greece with historical significance, and that is Plato's allegory of the cave. So in the allegory of the cave, Socrates has a dialogue with Plato's brother, and it's about essentially there are people that are prisoners within a cave, and all of their lives they've been chained up and facing one wall their entire life and only seeing what's on that wall. Behind them, there's a fire, and there's a puppet master with puppets, and all they see is what's casted from the shadows onto the wall. And so they talk about one of the prisoners breaking free and what would happen if he saw the world beyond the cave. What would it be like for him? So what they decided is that if the prisoner broke free and saw the world beyond, that they would inevitably feel compelled to come back and free the rest of the prisoners. And so Ellie has some words of inspiration for you now.
So as professional artists, I know that you already know this. A tremendous part of our struggle as artists that work at it every single day and paint all the time, struggle with that tension between overcoming our fears, overcoming sort of those things, those shadows in the flames, and freedom. And we always strive towards freedom. And really, as artists, one of our roles in culture is that we're liberators, and we set the captives free. And so I want you guys to be thinking about what in your own creative process, what those battles that we go through in our mind, do you really struggle with? What is terrifying to you, and where do you desire more freedom? And for me personally, I know that using a source is my comfort zone. It's something I feel confident in and I know how to do. And for me, the shadows in the flames are being able to paint solely from my imagination and without a source. That's for me the struggle. That might not be your struggle. So be thinking about that. What do you want to sort of leave behind in this cave and come out into new freedom in your creative process? So in this challenge, one thing we are going to be looking for as judges, because we know your work very well, and we know where, let's say, your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. We almost sort of know the shadows and the flames for you. And what we are going to be looking for in this particular challenge is your freedom and your ability to overcome that and really take a risk and push yourself beyond those flames, come out of the cave into a new level in your creative process. Because to win this competition and to truly be the outstanding artist, you must evolve. You cannot make it on the art that you made yesterday or the day before or last week or even your very best painting so far. You must go beyond that, and we are looking for that.
As soon as I went into the cave, I didn't really expect it, but I had like a panic attack in the first like 5 seconds, and I completely froze. I don't know, I freaked out. It was dark and small, and I got like super scared, and then I got like really angry that I got scared, because that's sort of the one thing I think I struggle with is my fear.
I really like caves and the mood that's in there. I feel like there's magic in caves. I felt like I needed to completely get out of my comfort zone, maybe paint something that's my fear.
I know when I was just looking at the light through the cave, I just knew that God is my everlasting light. That's what I heard, just looking at the light. And I just wanted to just dance that joy and just be thankful for this life.
I kind of interpreted this challenge as not doing something that I don't normally do, but something that I have fear to do.
I'm doing great. Just conquering all my fears, I would say.
Within the ladder, okay? Now, you hold the
When you
ladder.
guys, all of you were jumping out of the boat, though I don't know how to swim, but that was the biggest fear that I conquered. Despite of not knowing swimming and you just, you guys being there, I just went into the water and it felt so good. It felt so liberating, just, being able to do that. And I've been learning a lot about me, I would say, and trying to find that confidence and feel myself again.
I feel relaxed since I'm out. I can paint free, so that's new. Yeah, so it's kind of double. It's I enjoying it a lot to paint now, but also at some point you're like, hey, I don't belong to them anymore. I have to sit at another table.
When I went in the cave, it's like, they're like, who wants to go first? And I'm like, no. And I was having all these moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm a more, I was kind of connecting with my sensitive side, my softer side.
The experience in the cave was just amazing. It was something I never experienced in my whole life. When we got into it, I felt really vulnerable, Like having to walk like that, not seeing where you're going.
In the cave, I just started weeping uncontrollably, and I couldn't stop. Bree came and hugged me, and I felt a bit better after.
Okay, artists, this is definitely going to be the toughest challenge yet, and you all know why. You're sort of asked to do the impossible in this. Create a painting that is you, but in a way that you don't normally create paintings. I wish you all very good luck, though I don't believe in luck. And have fun in this process. You guys ready?
Yeah. No.
Well, ready or not, your challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. You're basically given a free pass if you make a bad painting, except one person will still be eliminated. 2 of you starting right out the bat with spray paint, going for it.
You're never fully prepared. It was definitely a super fun process for me. I knew in my heart what it was that I needed to do, and it's been something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And it's something I can picture, I guess, my highest form of being an artist, and that is to combine
my years of training in performing in dance and combining it with painting and performing it live, and with each movement I make, it's creating a different stroke and mark. When I dance and when I improv, I don't necessarily think of what I'm doing, I just feel it. It's a type of dance that's like, it's you, it's what's deep inside of you. There's no one else's choreography being put on you that you have to interpret. It's literally what's inside of you.
It relates to my process because I feel like I've been doing the same thing, but I feel like it's missing something right now. I feel like it needs to evolve. I need to take it to the next step and add more meaning into it, which is always something that I'm afraid of.
It was amazing. Like, it was a moment in my life for sure. And I started out the day really reflecting on like why, like I'm a softer person. I'm definitely an I, but I'm a softer I. I'm indecisive. And in my paintings, I paint the opposite. And I had the realization over the year that I'm painting this to heal myself, to bring out that inner confidence that is there, that I have, the power that I have. And then, but wondering like why I'm so scared to be soft.
I never really was free to be who I truly am due to shame. And I saw this red fire burning from me, exploding in me and just lighting me up. And the shadows behind me were just, you know, dark and trying to overcome me. And I realized in that moment why I never paint a red palette, because it has to do with love. Sorry. The people that I loved abused me and abandoned me. And to me, that was just, it would bring pain. And in that moment, I knew I must face my fears. And even if it triggers me, I must paint in a red palette. As crazy, as ridiculous as that sounds.
One of the things that I struggle with is being very clear. Like, even with my words, I feel like I'm using words like probably or maybe. With painting, using a lot of bold brushstrokes, a lot of bold colors, not using a source, I feel like I'm always building in this security zone.
I don't know, at one point I started being so scared. I think it goes really deep. I think I'm scared of failing. I think I'm scared of success. I think I'm scared of being a disappointment.
Give me my painting and take yours. It's hard to paint something that you're really vulnerable with, and I'm not used to it. I just want to paint like super bold and bright art that makes people smile. Look at us! Look at us!
Look at us floundering.
I wanted to try to push myself in my painting. Just like, if I can just lay brushstrokes and just be confident with it and trust it and be free and not have to think about, okay, what about this proportion things? I was trying to think of how can I do this, because I imagine myself dancing on a stage with like big unstretched canvas. So how do I do that on a smaller canvas? So I honestly just started out with different ways of performance art and applying paint. So I used my hair, my nose, my feet. I was just dancing and having so much fun.
I felt instead of going in the other direction, like maybe the others did, of painting something they don't normally paint, I wanted to face that fear head on and just get it out.
That's One of the first times that I felt like I was legitimately on an adventure. I experienced so many things that I've never experienced before. I actively try to avoid caves. They don't usually have good things inside.
I'm painting for almost 12 years. I'm painting almost 12 years. I sell like 2 to 3 pieces per year. That's nothing. I tried so many years to do both. I love so much painting, but financially, it doesn't give me anything.
I feel like while I was in the cave, I was like, yeah, I know what my fears are. I've been over it over and over and over again. I know it. So it's too easy to say like the fear of rejection, not feeling seen and heard. And I think everybody has that issue here. But while I was painting, that was the deeper layer under it, my fear of being myself in a group of women. And I am in a group of women here, and I feel very good, but it can be very challenging as well.
I think for me, I've always had this idea that it's better for me to be quiet. I had no idea that I was not being bold, and it was as a result of trying not to be too seen. I realized that I needed to do something loud color-wise, and that was very out of my comfort zone.
I need to like connect with like my inner sensitive, soft me that I've rejected because I was so weak as like a little kid. I was so insecure and so quiet and so reserved that I think I pendulum swung when I got healthy and I don't want to lose my voice. And so I'm pushing so strong with neon, so strong with everything because I don't want to lose my voice.
Pieces, it's like there's darkness and light, like there's this, I don't know, fight between the darkness and the light. And I feel like I'm always focused on that light.
All right, everyone, you have 5 minutes left in this first part of the challenge. Tomorrow you will have 3 hours to finish your paintings. Tonight, you'll get to look at sources if you want. It's up to you.
Before we enter the cave, you said, what is it you strive to be or to do and you don't believe you can do it? And my whole, since I have been painting these past few years, I always wanted to paint without having to look at a reference, like something in my head and just paint it, not looking at a reference, not making a source, and especially with portraits.
Okay, artists. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brushes down. Okay, so you guys will have the night to reflect upon your paintings and what you want to do, what you want to pull out of it. We're gonna start bright and early tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. The challenge begins. So, get some sleep.
When we finished, I was so relieved that we had finished the 2 hours because I felt like a serious aversion to my painting and I didn't want to look at it.
Good morning, artists. How are you feeling?
Good morning.
Well, it's pretty early, but it's time to get to painting again today. But before that, we're gonna have Deirdre do a small critique of you guys to sort of help you guys launch into your paintings today. I know some of you have some sources and you're ready to get to it. So let's get started. Deirdre, come on in. I'll hand it off to you. Take it away.
Okay. So I am really curious what in this painting is really stretching you or making, I don't know, something uncomfortable or...
It's like totally going without a source at all. Like I always use a reference of some kind for painting a face or drawing a face and hand and anything like that. So I'm just going completely from my head, from a vision I had, and also using this color palette, which I never use.
Yeah.
Like I avoid it like the plague.
Yeah, I definitely noticed your colors are totally different, which I love seeing that. and it's a very beautiful piece. To me, it looks like something that you've always painted though. So for me, and you painted this so comfortably and easily. So I'm just questioning like how it's really stretching with the subject matter, but.
It makes me feel vulnerable to paint without a source, and I'm gonna keep going without a source today. And
okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Not using any whatsoever.
Cool. I would just say keep going with it, and so far I don't have much to critique on. I'm just questioning, what the stretching is for you.
Mainly, I felt very insecure mixing all the reds because I never did that before. So I can mix like hundreds of shades of blue, but when it comes to reds, I felt like I don't know how to paint anymore,
So are you painting with a source today or no?
I was thinking about painting without a source and painting a face, but now that I slept on it, I'm probably going to cover everything up.
Oh.
And I'm probably I am going for an abstract.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it without a source and just feel free and be bold with it. Use a lot of bright colors and use spray paint. I'm going to use a lot of contrast. That's what I'm going for. And then we'll see what it turns out like.
I like that idea. And that's really different for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
I wanted to have like a face in there without a source, but overnight I felt like that's not it.
So Tanya, what are you doing with your painting?
I'm gonna paint flowers today.
Oh.
Which I never paint. And I'm gonna still go with neutrals and probably include some of my marks, but I'm gonna stay in the neutral tone all the way.
That's really cool, and it's something that I've never seen you do. Yeah, you're really stretching yourself with all
Definitely.
that. Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see, like, even though all of you are painting something outside your comfort zone, it doesn't mean you can't do it in your style. It would be so cool to see after this, like, where it takes you in your art. Maybe you're not afraid to do neutrals, or, maybe you can do that more.
Yeah. Cool. Flowers to me have a lot of symbolism, and this is something I always wanted to incorporate into my work.
Wow, so you have a very limited palette. That is super difficult.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have a source now for the hands, or what's your plan with your painting?
So yesterday, I've never really done this. This is really going way out of the box for me. But yesterday I was really kind of exploring just a couple ideas. I've never really done hands before. I attempted it once, it came out terrible. So I was like, this is the perfect challenge to do it. And I am kind of switching it up. I had like an idea of like a bird, but I'm like, I already did a bird. And so I am switching it up just a smidge. I do have a source, but I'm using it more as it's kind of rough. So it's more of like a little bit of a guide. I really don't want to rely on that today. So, but just stretching myself using limited palette and using only oils. Literally, hands, limited palette, and oils are the three things that terrify me. So we're going for it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Painting. Well, that's okay. You're making yourself very vulnerable today and really stretching yourself. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at a source for all this. So I think my only thing is this is, having like a tangent edge with the canvas. So if the hand was, I think compositionally, depending on what you do here, I don't know what you'll do, but if the hands are moved down, it would be a little bit better.
Okay, great.
But yeah, I don't know. That you might have to just totally reconstruct those.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going for it. But that's really helpful. Thank you. I went way out of my comfort zone with it. I usually have an array of colors around me. I usually have all kinds of mediums around me, and I have all kinds of options. It hit me pretty hard in the cave that the one thing I need to do is take away all the things that I use as a crutch.
So I've never successfully had a soft painting.
Yeah.
And anytime I do watercolor, it doesn't go well. And anything soft and delicate doesn't go well. And I was sort of having this I actually am a softer personality, and I'm like, I need to learn to like do soft things. So that's kind of my goal, is like soft and delicate in this.
I love that.
So yeah, it's gonna be like a flower and then a girl that's not gonna look like this. So it's just kind of me getting my idea in.
I just see that now. Cool.
Yeah, so there'll be a girl, small figure, which scares me, and profile, which I never do, which sometimes is hard for me. A flower. So yeah.
I love the idea, and I think that is really stretching yourself for sure and putting yourself in an uncomfortable place. So
yeah,
I'm very excited to see how this turns out.
I feel like it could be cool or it could be really bad. So
well, that's okay. But I agree that you are a very soft person, and so this, it's really interesting that you normally paint in very bold, bright colors, and this is something completely different. So in the background, these are like mountains, or it's just going to be kind of like abstract?
Yeah, that might leave. I feel like I was trying to feel it out, so I think it'll mostly be the girl, and then more just abstracted muted colors.
Okay.
A little thicker too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
I feel like there's like a sweetness that God wants to bring out inside of me, and like appreciating it instead of like shoving it down.
So Bree, what is going on here with your paint? I'm very curious.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at it, you would have no idea right now. So I have like butterflies on my stomach because my biggest like goal and dream to push my limit is to one day just dance and paint at the same time without a source, and with each movement, the brush strokes will build, and at the end they'll just be like this subject matter that just people will be able to recognize and like grasp. So I'm going without a source today, and I don't really want to do like too many blending or like fix up mistakes. I want to just trust my brush strokes. Probably use 2 hands. Never done that.
Oh, cool.
Because if performing on stage one day, I would love to use all my body. I don't think I'm gonna be keeping all the cracks, but I'm gonna go, and I'm just seeing just like a tiger breaking free. Like there's something kind of like a nose here. So
that's cool.
I kind of just want to go
just feel your way through it,
and just move and paint and just have fun. But I'm like all excited, and
I like that you're thinking of like your best self and like what you truly want to do one day. So I think that's a really good direction. Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
I'll see.
I had so many butterflies in my stomach. That's how I knew I was doing something I was meant to do, because I didn't fall asleep till 3 o'clock. I woke up at like 5:30 or something, and I was just like, I constantly had this excitement. So I knew it was something I had to do.
All right, thank you, Deidre, for the critique. Let's let them get to it and start this challenge. You guys ready? Okay, the rest of your challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Have fun.
It felt like the portrait was looking like scary and just strange. Yeah. So it's like, it's not feeling right. I need to change it and actually be really bold and just let go with what I had in mind and just be free. I used to believe that I had like my words doesn't have impact on others and things like that, but I'm starting to realize with my art that I have something to say and I have something to show to people. And when my collectors wrote to me and say that my art make them smile or give them like confidence or things like that, it's just the best feeling ever.
It definitely has me wanting to evolve, and I feel like now my wheels are turning on how. I don't know how, because my process is so not this, that I'm wondering how it's gonna collide.
I saw these marks and I was getting really excited. I'm like, okay, oh, it's coming to me. And I just kind of heard this voice saying, okay, now cover it up. I was like, what? What am I gonna do? So I trusted it. I kind of scumbled over it, still letting the marks show through. And as I was laying it in the sun to let it dry, I was just looking at it. And immediately I went back to this memory of right before I would step on stage to perform my solos, I would see all the spotlights on the stage. And on the marley flooring, you could see all people's like foot marks or scuff marks from their tap shoes, or just all the different marks from the performers on the stage left on there. Then I was gonna step out on that same stage and leave my mark and yet perform a masterpiece to me. So seeing all those little marks underneath the painting, that was just something sentimental and symbolic to me.
I came into this competition kind of knowing that abstracts were quite the struggle for me. So I would love to just continue practicing that. And even if that's the only thing I take away from this experience, I've grown and it's totally worth it. I would love to be able to walk away with a confidence in creating abstracts that just gives me the freedom to explore a whole new world in my art career.
It was so cool to see everyone painting in a completely different way, and I don't know if I would have handled the pressure as well as everyone did. It's hard to take a leap in your studio on your own, let alone take a leap on a reality show in front of potentially a lot of people.
I really like it when people have, a struggle and then they break out of it and they're happy and you see them grow and you see them shine, they step into their brightest self.
I think I saw softness as weakness, and it was almost like in the cave, God was showing me like there's like power, like this makes me emotional. Like, I knew I was gonna cry with this one, but like, there's power in softness, I think I rejected part of myself because I didn't like that part. And I think I kind of rejected that kind of art too, because I was like, I don't want to feel like that or something.
When Jake asked me in the beginning of the show, what is it that holds you back from being your best self, from being able to win? And I said, because I don't believe in myself.
Okay, artists, you have 10 minutes remaining in this challenge. A lot can happen in 10 minutes, so make good use of your time.
I feel like I wasn't ready maybe to add flowers, and now the more I think about it, the more I feel like this whole experience, I'm discovering something new with myself, and I'm discovering like new parts of me that I didn't even know they were there. I feel like with the last challenge, it was more about the flow. And even though I had like a great contrast and bright colors, I used a lot of blending and a lot of soft transitions. So with this painting, I felt like really leaving a lot of marks. Whereas the last painting, I actually covered up a lot of marks.
Trusting myself is like the key here. I've learned from the mastery program, I've learned how to paint. I should know myself better by now, and just allowing myself to know that and trust myself is my biggest struggle.
I think for me, it's just building up this trust, because one day when I would like to just perform and paint, I like to use my full body.
All right, artists, you have 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brushes down. Well done indeed. You guys created 6 awesome paintings in some of the toughest of circumstances with a very difficult challenge, so you should all be very proud of yourselves. Happy, sweaty. Oh, here.
Are you feeling empowered right now?
I am. Kind of an array of emotions. I think I'm still sort of processing everything that's gone on.
I feel like I've been very bold, and I'm having mixed feelings about that. And I'm probably very tired.
It feels like there's something deeper or more that happened that was emotional for you, or maybe scary to share that you're holding back.
So I just stood there in the cave and closed my eyes, and I just started to see this vision of myself, this mask falling off.
What are the new parts of you that you're discovering?
I feel like I'm discovering a softer part and a more control part of me that I really enjoy.
I didn't use any neons till the very, very end because she looked very sad. And so I put a little neon pink because I think I'll always use some.
What about your experience in the process and the limitations you put on yourself in the materials and starting with oil start to finish? Do you feel like will stick into the next season, or was it just an experience?
No, this has been my goal for a really long time. I always, whenever I watch any videos of people doing alla prima with oil start to finish, I'm always like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I've attempted it a few times. It's come out like definitely 100 times worse than this, and I just sort of stopped doing it.
So this woman who represents you looks really multi-ethnic. I mean, she could be from South America, she could be from Africa, she could be from a bunch of different places, and she doesn't look like you and your features and your color. Do you have any insight into that? Or?
Yeah, I had thought about that when I was about halfway through the painting, and I realized that all the women I've ever painted were kind of molded in one and in my memory, in my head. And that's what came out on the canvas. And I also feel that like people see me as in a certain way and they expect a certain thing. They have always done that. And I feel that when I take off the mask, it's like I can be anything.
There still are some people in my life that think that I'm like kind of just supposed to be on the path to just be a dancer, but I see myself being more than that and using more of my gifts. God has given me this gift, it's a piece of the puzzle, and I'm still trying to figure out how it all fits together. I'm trying not to explain it to people. I'm just trying to let them maybe just see my journey and let that unfold instead of just like, well, I am still dancing and defend myself. It's just like, okay, you can think that, but you can see just through my journey what it will turn into, because I don't even exactly know.
Yeah. I feel like it's all about insecurity. As a kid, I was always the person that was going to fight for people, but never me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was never about me, it was always about other people. And I'm still like that, I think. And that's something I need to improve, just make more room for myself.
Is that hard for you to be the star of the show?
Yeah, really. I don't like that. I like other people be the star of the show and just support them. I'm learning, slowly.
I don't like the colors, some of them. But I'm also pretty proud of what I've done.
What I'm understanding is your greatest fear in painting would be to paint with like very bold, definite brush strokes and colors.
Yeah. In the previous challenge, you did an abstract.
Yeah.
And you had a definite color that was very saturated, like red.
Yeah.
And so you won the challenge because you created a definite, bold abstract. that was effective and powerful, and we all remarked on it. How do you feel that this is a better representation of that you say you struggle with?
I think with this piece, I was also kind of trying to combine like what I'm used to and what I used to do with doing something completely different and something that's really out of my comfort zone.
Do you feel like you've had some sort of breakthrough that you can carry into your next pieces? Like, has this helped you want to evolve?
It's honestly exciting. Like, I love chasing things. And so it gives me like a new mission, kind of.
A lot of my collectors always ask me, why don't you paint red palette? And I was always like, no, you're never gonna see me paint. So I think if they see this, they'll be excited for what's to come.
I'd say that my breakthrough with this is I don't need all of those crutches around me. I just need to trust myself.
Wow, so that was really powerful to hear all their stories. So now let's go look at all the artwork again and come to a decision. Wow, it's pretty interesting looking at them all in context to each other, huh? And after hearing their stories and...
Yeah, I really love seeing them up close. I feel like you notice things a little differently.
Definitely. Yet again, this is gonna be really hard.
I can see each story, unique emotions coming through. I've made my decisions. Have you?
Yeah.
Today was a good day. Even if I go out on that one, honestly, I would be super proud.
All right, artists, come on in. First of all, I want to congratulate you all on making it this far because it has truly been a test. As you know, this competition has only got more difficult, and this last challenge was the most difficult of all so far. Unfortunately, even though all of you are amazing artists, one of you must go tonight, and it's time to find out who. But before we get to tonight's elimination, the judges have a few words for you.
I really am so proud of you guys. This definitely was the most difficult challenge. You really had to put your ego aside in this one and really humble yourselves and be willing to make a bad painting in front of everyone. And you were willing to go into the cave and look within the shadows of your life and come out into the light on the other side and really almost at will evolve. And that's difficult. When it happens naturally in its own due time, that's one thing. We almost don't have a choice, it just happens to us. But this time, you had to actually step into that space and really be open, and that takes a lot of courage. And so I commend all of you. Every single one of you put your whole heart into this and really tried the best you could, and we commend you for that.
Yes, you should all be very proud of yourselves.
And with that, it's time to find out who will be eliminated tonight. So first, can we have Jesse and Tanya step forward? Congratulations to Tanya for winning this challenge.
Congratulations! Thank you! Yeah! I'm so happy, honestly. It felt good.
And Jesse as well. Both of you are safe. You may exit.
Honestly, I don't even know. It's the first challenge I wasn't that positive at first, honestly. And like Anna and Jesse were singing and I was like, oh, as much as I love you guys, like right now, it's not the time. And I was super like negative and I don't know why. But then we had the break that we had some coffee and eat, and I was thinking like, okay, I need to change my mindset. This is not working. This would not work if I have this attitude. And then we get back to it, and I felt better, and I started singing with them, and I started like getting my mojo back. So I think that made all the change, and yeah.
Next, Katrina and Bree, please step forward. Congratulations to the both of you. You are safe as well. You may exit. Lastly, Melissa, Anna, please step forward. I know that this was a very tough decision for the judges, but Anna, you are safe. You're moving on to the next round. I'm sorry, Melissa. You've been eliminated.
Disappointed, of course. I think that everyone's here to win. I do feel like I put myself out there and I took a big risk.
With abstracts, everyone takes a risk, and a lot of times those take more hours of time, and it was a good effort all the way.
It's kind of strange to like win with the abstract but then after that like right away lose with an abstract. But it's okay, I'm okay with it.
This challenge came down to really just hearing how everyone translated the challenge, and everyone had such a strong story, so it made it very difficult to come to the decision. But out of everyone, we felt that you didn't take as big of a risk as everyone else.
That's how it works here. So you have to be like sharp every day, every challenge. You can think, no, this day is, I just do something, whatever.
Melissa, I'm very sorry, but it's time for you to go. And then there were 5. As always, it's very difficult to celebrate after one of the artists has been eliminated, but I want to congratulate you all on making it this far, and it only gets more difficult from here.
It's nice on the other side with the eliminated people.
Sorry, Melissa, you did an amazing job, but it is time for you to go. You will have a chance in the redemption challenge, though. Please hand in your overalls. Thank you. This is the Outstanding Artist. Are you guys excited to dress up?
Yeah! You are stepping on holy grounds for Spetses Island.
It was pretty epic, you know, the sun was setting, we're just looking out over this gorgeous sea. It was just like so empowering. You're just like, I see my future.
You will all be recreating the painting that you saw in the museum in your own style.
I went to bed yesterday without a clue how I was going to interpret it.
I have been overcoming so many more obstacles than I think I ever have in my entire life.
I'm at the point that if I could, I would throw it in the ocean.
Whoa!